Hi, Felix, and hello to everyone listening to the Ocean Worldwide podcast. Today, we're going to really dig into a big question, one I think a lot of people are asking. Is Bangtao in Phuket the best spot for luxury property investment? And let's be super clear right away, we're talking Phuket.
Definitely Phuket, not Phuket. That's important.
Exactly. Get the pronunciation right.
It's a really important question, though, about Bangtao. And we've got some great insights to look at, mostly coming from an article by Ocean Worldwide. And it's probably worth saying, Ocean Worldwide, they're not new to this. They're a luxury real estate agency actually based right there in Phuket since way back in 2004.
Wow. Since 2004, that's quite a while.
Yeah, and under Sandra O'Neill's direction, they've built up, a ton of experience. They really focus on the luxury residential markets in Phuket and Koh Samui, helped thousands of families and investors over the years.
Okay, so they really know their stuff, especially in this specific market.
Absolutely. Their perspective is pretty valuable here.
Good. So our mission today in this deep dive is to sort of unpack that article, get to the heart of why Bangtao seems to be such a magnet for luxury property investors. All right, let's start with the basics. What actually makes Bangtao, Bangtao, what's its unique appeal?
Well, what's really interesting, according to the Ocean Worldwide piece, is how it's become this prime spot on Phuket's west coast. It's growing fast. But it's not just growth for growth's sake. It's this blend. You've got the rich local culture, the incredible natural beauty, obviously, but also all the modern conveniences people expect now.
So it's not just, a pretty beach. The Ocean Worldwide article talks about the community too. Locals, expats, long-term visitors all mixing together. That sounds like it creates a really nice, welcoming vibe. You see it in the restaurants, the shops.
Exactly. That's what they point out. And think about it. If you're investing, maybe planning to spend real time there or even move, that community feel is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about the lifestyle, not just the building.
It's the whole package.
Okay, and lifestyle definitely includes beaches in Phuket. Bangtao Beach, the article says it's one of the longest on the island.
Yeah, it's massive. The sand might be, a bit more natural looking than some picture-perfect white beaches, but its length is key. And Ocean Worldwide notes it has lots of smaller, kind of local-feeling restaurants and bars right there on the shore, very relaxed.
And if you want something quieter, land beaches nearby, more secluded.
That's mentioned as the quieter option. So yeah, if you had, say, a condo near Bangtao, you've got great beach access, whatever your mood.
Sounds ideal. But it's not just beach life, right? The article details this vibrant downtown area.
Oh yeah, supermarkets, international schools, which is big for families, medical centers, shopping malls, all the practical stuff.
That convenience factor is massive, isn't it? For short stays or living there long term.
It really is. How often do you find that perfect mix of stunning nature and actual functioning infrastructure right there? It's quite rare.
And Ocean Worldwide also mentions the big luxury resorts like Banyan Tree, Dusit Thani Laguna Phuket. Their presence must add something too.
Definitely. It adds a layer of sophistication, access to really world-class restaurants, spas, things like that, even if you're not staying there.
So it's this balance, relaxed beach vibe, but also convenient and a bit upscale. And it's still developing.
Yeah, ongoing development is a key theme. It seems like it's only going to get better.
Okay, so it sounds like a great place to live or holiday. But let's talk investment. Why is it considered a smart move for property investment, according to Ocean Worldwide?
Right. This is where their insights get really compelling. They call Bangtao a proper hotspot with potential for strong returns. And that's based on real trends. Tourism is up, the expat community is growing.
And that pushes property values up.
Exactly. Ocean Worldwide says values have been rising steadily. Bangtao's really getting known as a prime spot within Phuket for investment.
It even mentioned a specific project, the Zero Bangtao. Something about its groundbreaking.
Yeah, they highlighted that one. It aims to deliver smart living spaces, apparently with a strong ROI focus.
So developers are clearly confident. They see the potential too.
That's the signal, yeah. Both developers and investors are putting money in, which speaks volumes.
And what about renting it out? Is the demand there?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Ocean Worldwide emphasizes strong rental demand. That comes from tourists, obviously, but also people looking for longer-term places, families moving for the schools, retirees.
That mix of short and long-term renters must be good for consistent income.
Absolutely. A strong, consistent rental market is a huge plus for any investor.
And looking further ahead, capital appreciation. Is the value likely to keep going up?
The outlook seems excellent based on what Ocean Worldwide reports. You've got infrastructure improvements happening, new developments coming online, and just Bangtao's growing popularity as a destination.
So it's not just about rent now, but the property potentially being worth a lot more down the line.
Precisely. It looks like a good bet for long-term capital growth, too.
Okay, so if someone is considering investing, what kind of luxury properties are actually on offer in Bangtao? What does Ocean Worldwide say about the options?
There's a real variety, according to their article. You've got the super high-end stuff, big villas, private pools, amazing ocean views. Then there are modern condos, maybe in prime spots near the beach or amenities, with all the high-end finishes and facilities you'd expect.
Right.
And one thing they point out, which is interesting, is these exclusive resort developments. You can buy a property within a resort.
Ah, so you get the perks of the resort, like maybe using their pools or restaurants?
Exactly. And often they offer rental management services too, which can make it a much easier, more hands-off kind of investment.
That sounds appealing. Is it all super expensive, though?
Well, Ocean Worldwide does mention more, let's say, accessible luxury options too, maybe smaller condos or villas that are a little bit back from the beach. They still have the Bangtao charm, still good rental potential, but at a slightly lower entry point.
Okay, so there are different levels within that luxury bracket.
Yep.
The article actually summarized these, like a table or something.
Yeah, they had a useful summary: high-end villas, luxury condos, resort places, affordable luxury plane, mapping out the features and benefits like potential for high rent or capital growth or ease of access.
That's helpful. It shows there isn't just one type of luxury investment there.
Definitely. That diversity is a real strength, showing options whether you want max rental yield, a resort lifestyle, or just a foothold in the market.
Okay, property types covered. Investment potential looking good. But what's it actually like to live there day to day? The lifestyle, the amenities. What's the vibe according to Ocean Worldwide?
They describe it as really well balanced. You get that relaxed beach town feel, but with a layer of sophistication. The food scene sounds great. Everything from local street food stalls, which are amazing in Thailand,
Oh, yeah.
to really high-end restaurants. And beach clubs, too, like Catch Beach Club is mentioned. Trendy spots.
Is it all party, though? What about families?
No, the article makes a point of saying there are plenty of family-friendly options as well. It caters to a pretty broad audience.
Good. And activities beyond eating and drinking.
Plenty. Ocean Worldwide mentions golf at Laguna Phuket Golf Club. Loads of water sports, obviously. Even things like mini golf at Phuket Adventure Mini Golf for some fun.
And just hanging out on Bangtao Beach itself, I suppose.
Of course, that massive beach is always an option. And interestingly, they also mention eco-smart villas nearby, suggesting that sustainability is becoming a thing there too.
That's interesting. And for just, normal life,
Huh.
shopping.
Yep, covered too. Boat Avenue Shopping Complex is mentioned, plus local night markets. Ocean Worldwide points out those markets aren't just for tourists. They're a great way to soak up the local culture, find unique things. It all adds up to a really complete lifestyle picture.
It really does sound appealing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk brass tacks. The market itself. What are prices like right now? And what are the main trends Ocean Worldwide is seeing?
They give a range. Condos might start around, say, 3.5 million Thai baht, while the big luxury villas could go up to maybe 120 million baht or even more.
Wow, big range.
Yeah, and as the article states, it really depends on location. Beachfront is always premium size and just how luxurious it is.
But the overall direction is up.
That's the expectation from Ocean Worldwide, yeah.
Yeah.
Driven by all the development we've talked about, plus its growing popularity with tourists and expats. More demand means prices tend to rise.
And specific trends they highlighted.
A few key ones. Growing interest from international buyers, so it's getting more global attention. Rising demand for rentals, which we covered. And newer developments focusing more on sustainability and smart home tech. That seems to be a growing priority.
Right, those eco-smart villas fit into that. And Ocean Worldwide suggested now might be a good time for certain investments.
Yeah, they mentioned that with infrastructure projects coming up, investing in prime beachside condos could be particularly timely right now.
Okay. Now, the article also touched on something huge for Phuket. Tourism. How does that specifically impact Bangtao and its property market, according to Ocean Worldwide?
They make it really clear Bangtao's transformation is tied directly to Phuket's tourism boom. A lot of the development has been about catering to visitors, and that influx of tourists fuels demand for holiday rentals, but also attracts people looking for longer-term investments or even a place to live.
And it's become a magnet for expats too, hasn't it? People wanting that Thai lifestyle, but with modern comforts.
Absolutely. The article highlights that. And this growing expat community boosts the local economy and definitely drives demand for those higher end properties.
So tourism directly feeds the rental market, providing income for owners.
Yeah, it creates that strong demand for holiday lets, especially during peak season. Bangtao's location near the beach and attractions makes it a really popular choice for tourists, leading to reliable income streams for owners.
Ocean Worldwide even broke down the seasons for rentals, didn't they?
hmm High season, roughly November to April, peak demand, best rates. Then shoulder seasons, May and October, still decent. And the low season, June to September, quieter, maybe need to offer discounts.
Understanding that cycle is pretty crucial if you're planning to rent out.
Absolutely. Managing expectations and maybe your pricing strategy around those seasons is key to maximizing your rental income.
Okay. Now, no place is perfect, and people always wonder how areas compare. Did Ocean Worldwide offer any comparisons between Bangtao and other parts of Phuket?
It did, yeah. They compared it with Land, for example.
Which is right next door, isn't it?
Pretty much. Layan is described as having more secluded beaches, focusing on very high-end resorts, more exclusive overall, and generally pricier, kind of the quieter, more upscale neighbor.
Okay. What about somewhere different, like Rowai down south?
Hawaii, according to the article, has more of a local feel, great sea views, but the property is generally more affordable. It's described as having a more rustic vibe compared to Bangtao's developed infrastructure.
So quite a contrast. And Kata, or Karan, on the southwest coast.
Yeah, Katakaron. Known for their long, sandy beaches, very lively atmosphere, popular with families, general tourists. But that also means they tend to be more crowded than Bangtao. Property prices vary, but the vibe is definitely more energetic, maybe less relaxed than Bangtao.
So the takeaway from Ocean Worldwide seems to be, it really depends what you're looking for.
Exactly. There's no single best area. It's about matching your preferences and investment goals. Bangtao offers that strong balance of luxury, amenities, and convenience, which appeals to many. But Lan, Rawai, Katakaran, they all have their own distinct advantages.
Right. Makes sense. Looking forward then, what's on the horizon for Bangtao? Any big future developments or improvements mentioned by Ocean Worldwide?
They paint a picture of ongoing dynamism, lots of activity, new projects, infrastructure getting better. We mentioned the Zero Bangtao. Again, the article reiterates its groundbreaking completion targeted for Q4 2026. The focus is on that smart living concept and high-yield investment, so strong potential for capital growth and rental income right away.
And it's not just private projects, public infrastructure too.
Yes, Ocean Worldwide points to upgrades for roads, utilities, public services. That kind of stuff makes a real difference to an area's livability and its long-term value.
Definitely. And that sustainability trend is continuing.
Seems like it. The article talks about a growing focus on it in new builds, eco-friendly designs, solar power, water recycling, green materials.
That's good to hear. Better for the planet and probably saves money for residents in the long run too.
Exactly, both environmental and economic benefits. It's a positive sign for the future, as Ocean Worldwide highlights.
Okay, so let's say someone listening is seriously thinking about this. Buying property in Bangtao. The process itself. Ocean Worldwide gave some guidance.
Yeah, some really important practical points, especially the legal side for foreign buyers. Generally, foreigners can't own land directly, so leasehold is common, typically 30 years, often with options to renew twice, so potentially 90 years.
Right, so you own it for a very long time, but it's technically a lease.
Correct. But condominium units you can often own outright. That's called freehold. Ocean Worldwide really stresses getting proper legal advice, doing your due diligence, checking agreements carefully, and understanding leasehold versus freehold.
Absolutely crucial. What about getting the money? Financing for foreigners.
It can be trickier than in your home country, the article acknowledges that. But it's not impossible. Some international banks with branches in Phuket might offer loans. Thai banks might too, though maybe with stricter requirements. The key advice from Ocean Worldwide is to shop around, look closely at loan-to-value ratios, interest rates, repayment terms.
Okay, so do your homework on financing.
Yeah.
And they recommended using local help.
Strongly. Working with a good local real estate agent is invaluable. Their knowledge of the Bangtao area, the market, the legal quirks.
Yeah, you need someone who knows the ropes.
Exactly. Ocean Worldwide advises finding someone reputable, experienced, especially in the luxury condo market there. Check recommendations, reviews. A good agent guides you through it all, helps avoid problems.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, so wrapping this all up. Based on this deep dive into the Ocean Worldwide article, Bangtao in Phuket. really does seem to stand out, doesn't it? As a prime spot for luxury property investment.
That's definitely the conclusion you draw from their analysis, yeah.
Yeah.
The mix is just so strong. Those amazing beaches, the vibrant community feel, the range of amenities, all the ongoing development, and those rising property values.
It ticks a lot of boxes.
It really does.
And whether you're picturing a stunning holiday escape or an investment property bringing in rent, Bangtao seems to offer a lot of different options, according to Ocean Worldwide's expertise.
A real spectrum of choices within that luxury segment.
So maybe the question for you listening, Felix, or anyone else tuned into the Ocean Worldwide podcast is, what part of Bangtao's market jumps out at you the most? Definitely something to think about, and perhaps worth exploring further, maybe even reaching out to the experts at Ocean Worldwide themselves. As we said, they've been the go-to for luxury real estate in Phuket since 2004, led by Sandra O'Neill. Thanks so much for taking this deep dive with us today.